Ignoring the price for a second, we've got a really, truly fantastic car right in front of us. This is the 2024 Nissan Z Nismo. So you take a normal Z, give it faster wearing tires, stiffer suspension, a more aggressive 9-speed automatic transmission, give it more body work, and give the engine slightly more power. Turns out if you do those things, you can get a better car. Let's talk about some of these changes. The first one is this VR30 DDTT has been upgraded to 420 horsepower and 384 pound-feet of torque. That is a 20 horsepower and 34 pound-feet of torque increase over the standard Z. And for the Z Nismo, it only comes in a 9-speed automatic transmission, and this one has the magical Nismo tuning. So this is shifting faster and more aggressive than the normal 9-speed automatic. And you can certainly feel this when you're in Sport Plus mode. This has a pretty significant list of suspension upgrades. First, you have stiffer suspension with the Nismo tuning. You get bigger brakes from Akebono, so you get 4-piston calipers up front with 15-inch rotors, and at the back you get 2-piston calipers and 13.8-inch rotors. All around you have 19-inch raised forged wheels. This is a staggered setup, so you get 10 inches wide in the front and 10.5 inches wide at the rear. With the upgraded tires, you also get the Dunlop Sport Max. This is a 200 tread wear rating tire, so this is faster wearing than the Bridgestone Potenza S007 that you get in the Nissan Z Performance. Now, when it comes to the exterior upgrades, of course, you have to make this one look more special than the standard Z. So this one has the unique Nismo front bumper that they call the Grand Nose or the G Nose. So you get the thin honeycomb mesh grille. That's to help feed more air to the enhanced oil cooler inside. You get the red accents all the way around the car. The black roof on this thing is standard. And you get the unique rear bumper and also the 3-piece spoiler, which makes this car look pretty aggressive. This is definitely what I'd expect out of a Nismo design Z. It's not as wild as the jump from the 350Z to the Nismo 350Z, but this is unique enough for people in the know that this is the more unique Nissan Z. As for the interior, you get these awesome Recaro seats, and it's finished in leather and Alcantara. Leather and Alcantara go together like peanut butter and jelly, and these are just fantastic finishes for a seat. And check out these really thick bolsters, but it's not thick that it's very hard to get in and out of the car, but it still provides you with a lot of support. There's also only manual adjustments, just the way I like it, so it's more lightweight compared to something with power adjusted seats. Now let's jump inside and start this baby up. We've got the start engine button right there. Brake in. So you get the unique Nismo digital screen here. You still get the same 9-inch touchscreen. This one comes with wireless Apple CarPlay, but check out this steering wheel. This comes with the red mark at the 12 o'clock position. Awesome paddle shifters. Just like the standard Z, you get 3 gauges here. First, you have the turbo boost gauge, the turbo speed gauge. I mean, do we really care about turbo speed? And then you have the battery voltage. So this is really the only useful gauge. Would be great if these are actually screens and you can modify what gauges go on here. I'm pretty sure you could do that in the aftermarket. But the more critical gauges are straight ahead. So you get the engine oil temp, the transmission temp, the water temp, and the diff oil temp. I love how these digital screens are standard across all Zs. Now, I thought that the base Nissan Z, at least the Nissan Z Performance that I tested on this channel, I thought that was a great car. But there's a lot of great alternatives out there for the money. The Supra has a manual offering and has a fantastic and smooth inline-6 turbo engine. If you want great handling but don't want to break the bank, there's also the Subaru BRZ TS, and that is a great handling car which you can get for about $30,000 to $35,000 before any markups. And then there's the best bang for the buck, the next generation Ford Mustang, the S650, because the 5.0 now makes 480 horsepower. Now, all of the upgrades in the Nismo Z transforms the Nissan Z into a legitimate sports car competitor. There is so much more grip thanks to the wider tires, and you feel a lot more comfortable in the corners because the limit is physically further. And then the retuned 9-speed automatic transmission. This thing has incredible brains. This thing feels like a dual clutch transmission, but it is not. It just knows when to downshift. It thinks that you're on the track when you put it into Sport Plus mode. And because it always puts you in the right gear, it gives you access to more boost and more power at the right times. extra power is nice, though I can't really say that I could feel the difference because this is about 100 pounds heavier than the base Z automatic, and it's about 170 pounds heavier than the Z that I tested, which has a manual transmission. So 20 extra horsepower and 34 pound-feet extra torque. Does that really make a difference? It's hard to say. And the stiffer suspension, it makes the Z Nismo feel more controllable and less sloppy when pushed hard. And this is the way the base Nissan should have been all along, because if you can get this type of performance at the lower $40,000 to $45,000 mark, without a doubt, you'll be seeing so many more of these on the road. Now, there may have been some production issues. There was a stop sale for these cars early on in its life because of the 9-speed automatic transmission. And there were also some paint issues with the production facility. But now that hopefully all of those issues have been resolved, you are seeing some more Zs on the road. The production numbers have gone up, but they are still super rare because at the time of this filming, I've only seen 2 Nissan Zs on the road. They just happen to be the 2 Nissan Zs that I've reviewed for this channel. They are super rare. So assuming all of those issues will have been resolved and they can actually crank out more of these things, I still think that the value proposition for the Z isn't really there to begin with, considering all of the other alternatives on the road. And while the Z Nismo is now an even better car, the price is almost $23,000 more than the cheapest Z, and almost $13,000 more than the Z that I tested last year. And that is the biggest problem with this Z Nismo, because as equipped with the two-tone paint and some of the extras, this dials in at $69,040. Almost $70,000 for a 420 horsepower Nissan Z. And that's before any sort of markup. At that point, you might as well get the Mustang Dark Horse, which delivers BMW M3 level of performance for not BMW M3 money. Or you can also get the bonkers BMW M2, which I've also tested on this channel. That's a better driving car that gives you a more hardcore driving experience, as long as you can live with that nose. Eventually, all of those price issues will normalize as there's more pressure from competing brands, these things becoming more available. The real market value will surface, and perhaps then the Z Nismo will actually become an appealing option. But for now, this is a great car with real pricing issues. And since you're still watching this video, check out my video review of the standard Z with the manual. I love that car so much. Again, it also has some pricing issues, but check that video out for more information. I want to thank you so much for watching all the way up to this point. My name is Hanson, and that's the 2024 Nissan Z Nismo, and I'll see you in the next one.